Has a new accuser, a woman named Megan Johnson, who is demanding $5 million coming for Trey Songz.
Like, Trey got to stand accountable for this, or I'm going to be honest with you, his legacy is going to go down like R. Kelly. I honestly feel that Trey Songz is going to end up in shackles. He's going to end up in jail cell.
I feel like the New Year's resolution for Trey Songz shouldn't be for him to settle down. It should be for him to start asking for consent.
All right, Trey Songz has turned himself in for allegedly hitting a woman. We've been following this story, and he did surrender to the LAPD.
The Cut has a story right now called "Is This the Trey Songz Reckoning?" You read all this stuff, because guys, think about it. Let's be real. We haven't added them all up. We've been hearing them so much. You kind of forget how many you've heard. You read them in a story back to back. You're like, what the hell is wrong with this dude, bro?
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that's been simmering for years, one that's left fans divided and headlines buzzing. Trey Songz, R&B chart-topping artist and a name synonymous with smooth vocals and steamy hits like Bottoms Up and Say Ah. But behind the platinum records and sold-out shows, there's a shadow that's been growing. Allegations, lawsuits, and whispers of a darker side. What's the truth? Buckle up, because
I'm about to dive in. Oh.
To understand the dark side, we got to start with the bright one. Who is Trey Songz, and how did he become a household name? Born Tremaine Alden Neverson on November 28, 1984, in Petersburg, Virginia, Trey grew up as a military brat, moving around with his mom and stepdad. Shy as a kid, he didn't even dream of singing until his teens, when his vocal talent started turning heads. By 15, he knew he had something special.
There ain't no better feeling like this. It's like watching some children on Christmas. I'm talking about the feeling of BS2. Letting all day run away with the crew. No, it ain't no feeling like this. First time behind the wheel with your license. The first time I made a girl go blue.
Tremaine Neverson from Petersburg, Virginia, 22 years old, signed Atlantic Records. I started out when I was about 15. Take this thing real seriously. I'm on my second album now. I was blessed with a lot of opportunities.
Fast forward to 2003, in a chance meeting with record producer Troy Taylor, changed everything. Trey signed with Songbook Entertainment and Atlantic Records, dropping his debut album I Gotta Make It in 2005. It hit number 20 on the Billboard 200. Not bad for a 20-year-old rookie. But it was his third album, Ready in 2009, that launched him into the stratosphere. Tracks like Say Ah and Bottoms Up with Nicki Minaj dominated the charts. By 2012, his album Chapter 5 topped the Billboard 200. And by 2014, Trigga did it again. Over 25 million records sold worldwide, Grammy nominations, and a rep as R&B's ultimate ladies' man. Trey was untouchable, or so it seemed.
Said before, this is your third Grammy nomination.
Yeah.
You're nominated for Heart Attack. You said you're guaranteed a Grammy one day. Can you do one better and guarantee a win tonight?
I can't guarantee nothing, baby. That's all in the hands of God. But I do believe that I win.
But as his star rose, so did the whispers. Fans on platforms like Reddit started asking, what happened to Trey Songz? Why did his shine start to fade? Let's set the stage for what's to come. Now, Trey's early career wasn't all smooth sailing. Even before the major allegations, there were signs of trouble. Let's go back to 2011. Trey was riding high off passion, pain, and pleasure, but he was also making headlines for the wrong reasons. In 2012, he had an incident at Perfections, a strip club in Queens, New York. A woman claimed Trey threw a stack of dollar bills at her face, causing a cut above her eye. She filed a police report, but no charges were pressed. At the time, it seemed like a one-off, brushed off as Trey being Trey. But looking back, some fans on X have pointed out these early incidents as red flags. One user posted in 2022 calling Trey a great value version of R. Kelly, hinting at a pattern of behavior. We'll circle back to that comparison later.
And people can accuse you of anything, and people can say you did anything. Whatever validity that holds is to be discovered.
These moments didn't derail his career, though. Trey kept dropping hits, collaborating with stars like Drake, Chris Brown, and Ty Dolla $ign, and building his brand as R&B's bad boy. But by 2010, the narrative started shifting. Social media was amplifying voices, and stories about Trey's offstage antics were spreading faster than ever. In December 2016, Trey had a concert at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit where he was arrested following an outburst. He became upset when the venue cut off his microphone, leading him to throw items off the stage, including a microphone stand that struck and injured a cameraman. Songz was subsequently charged with assaulting a police officer and other related charges after allegedly punching a sergeant, causing a concussion.
Trey Songz, or Tremaine Neverson, landed here after an outburst on stage that started as just words.
If they cut me off, remember it and text whoever you want to and tweet whoever you want to and tell everybody about it. Because if cut me off, I'm going crazy.
And he did, by throwing stuff when his mic was turned off and allegedly punching an officer who tried to arrest him, giving that officer a concussion. Sean Burt was in the front row watching it all.
It went from the best concert of all time to now he's in jail. It was crazy.
But Jamal Smith, also released today, says Trey Songz made the most of his time in jail.
Yeah, he gave all of us autographs. Like I said, he was singing all night.
So Smith left with a souvenir from Trey Songz.
Whitney from Trey Songz.
While Trey Songz is leaving Detroit with a fresh mugshot and some serious assault charges.
Yeah, next time if I do get tickets to a Trey Songz concert, I might not want to sit in the front because he just might start throwing some stuff.
With those two charges, Trey Songz faces up to 5 years in prison.
Starting around 2017, Trey Songz faced a wave of allegations that would change how many saw him. The first major claim came from a woman identified as Jane Doe, who said Trey assaulted her at a Miami nightclub in 2016. She didn't file criminal charges immediately, but later sought $3 million for therapy and school expenses, citing trauma. Trey took to X in August 2020, denying the claims and sharing his side. He wrote, "I ain't never been that guy," and urged her to read his legal response. The case didn't lead to any criminal charges, but it opened the floodgates. In 2016, actress and model Selena Powell accused Trey of assaulting her and holding her against her will. No charges were made, but her story gained traction online. Then, in February 2017, a woman named Andrea Buera filed a $10 million lawsuit, claiming Trey assaulted her at a Los Angeles nightclub after she rejected his advances. The lawsuit was settled out of court, but the damage to Trey's image was done.
Trey Songz, you picked on the wrong woman this time.
Bloom says Songz has a history of allegations dating back at least a decade of verbally and physically assaulting others.
The day that Trey Songz allegedly attacked Andrea, he was already on probation in Michigan.
Songz attorney Sean Hawley told us, "We are cooperating with law enforcement through the proper channels and not in the media." Now, as for Buera, she felt she had to speak out and also has a message for her former friend.
Trey, I'd like an apology. I want you to get help. And although I'm not your first victim, I'd like to be your last.
Now, Bloom says they may consider a civil lawsuit in the future, but for now, her client hopes that anyone who saw the alleged incident and stayed silent will speak out.
By 2018, another Jane Doe filed a $20 million lawsuit alleging Trey assaulted her at a Los Angeles party in 2016. Trey's team denied it, and the case was dismissed after statute of limitations expired. Some of his cases ended in settlements, not criminal convictions, which left fans divided. Some saw the settlements as admissions of guilt. Others argued they were just Trey avoiding costly trials, and some fans didn't believe the women's allegations.
Trey Songz, who got 1 million women, allegedly beating up a girl because she was talking to another guy. I highly doubt that one happened.
On Reddit, fans debated this in 2024. One user wrote, "It's not all allegations. Some are on video." They referenced a clip allegedly showing Trey exposing a woman's top in public against her wishes. That video, once on YouTube, has since been removed, but its existence fueled the fire. Another user countered, "Trey fell off because his music got repetitive, not just the allegations." Both sides have a point, but the allegations were piling up.
Singer Trey Songz is back in the headlines yet again for an alleged inappropriate behavior. A video from August 2013 has surfaced online where it seems Trey allegedly exposed a woman's breast by pulling her shirt down while also chanting inappropriate comments to her. The woman's legal team has stated they are seeking damages for long-lasting emotional distress.
I think people are having issues with the idea that she's coming out with this so much later and that she is asking for money. So I think people are viewing it as a money grab.
Let's pause here. These are serious claims, and we're not here to sensationalize. Without criminal convictions, it's hard to say definitively what happened, but the sheer number of accusations, over half a dozen by 2022, raised eyebrows. Why so many? Was it a coordinated attack, as some fans claimed, or a pattern of behavior finally coming to light? In January 2021, Trey hit the headlines again, this time for an altercation with police at an AFC championship game in Kansas City. According to reports, he got into a physical fight with officers after refusing to wear a mask during COVID protocols. He was arrested for trespassing, resisting arrest, and assaulting a police officer. Video footage showed him wrestling with cops, which didn't help his case. But that was just a warm-up. In November 2021, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department launched an investigation after a woman claimed Trey assaulted her at the Cosmopolitan Hotel during his 37th birthday celebration. Trey's team denied the allegations, calling them false and saying he was cooperating fully. As of today, no charges have been filed, but the investigation left a stain.
Trey Songz now facing a lawsuit for an incident at the Cosmopolitan nearly 2 years ago. 911 calls we obtained reveal a chaotic scene. A worker expressing security too fearful to enter a room where the singer was believed to be.
He was battered in the room, and we can't go up there because we're not sure if the people are armed.
This is the morning of November 28th, 2021. A worker at the Cosmopolitan says he's security dispatch and needs police.
They battered him and they stole his money and his chain.
That man, identified as Tyrell Dunn, is now suing Tremaine Neverson, also known as Trey Songz. Also being sued, the Cosmopolitan and a private security company.
He's currently on the floor.
The Maryland resident claims his wife was escorted by security to a hotel room to meet the singer. And Dunn began searching for his wife and was told she was in the room, heard her screaming for help and reporting she was being held against her will. When Dunn tried to help her, he says he was beaten up by Trey Songz and his security.
He's just really big.
In a second call,
We're standing by the room. It sounds like there's a lot of people in the room.
about 10 minutes after the first one,
To contact EMS for them now.
he describes the situation escalating.
What are they yelling about? So now we might have more issues
In a third call, he refers to yelling and a possible fight.
because we're not going in the room. until Metro shows up.
He says the victim was taken to UMC trauma.
He got cut on the back of his head. He got cut behind his ear. He has a black eye. His lip is broken.
And in a fourth call, nearly 45 minutes after the first,
Another fight between females now.
It's currently happening, or did you guys break it up?
We didn't break it up. They
Okay.
just finished and kicked her out.
Okay, so it was a result of the robbery?
Yes.
he also says there is a report of assault.
Did she say what happened when she was assaulted?
No, so she spoke to the Metro officer that's here, but now she's asking for EMS.
He says the officer is waiting for backup to go to the room.
We think the suspect is still in the room.
Yeah, they said they're still all up in there.
5 months later, Las Vegas Metro Police announced no criminal charges would be filed against Trey Songz and stated if any new evidence comes to light, the case will be reopened for further investigation.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the R. Kelly comparisons. On Reddit and X, fans have drawn parallels, saying Trey's alleged behavior echoes R. Kelly's predatory patterns. One Reddit user in 2024 wrote, "When he said he idolized R. Kelly's career, I didn't think he meant like that. It's a brutal jab, but is it fair?"
R. Kelly. I'd like to send a big shout out to R. Kelly because a lot of people, if you don't know, that's a major influence of mine. And for him to be a part of this album was great.
Here's the context. Trey's early mixtapes, like Open the Closet in 2004, were a playful nod to R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. He cited Kelly as an influence, admiring his ability to blend R&B and storytelling. But influence doesn't equal imitation. Unlike Kelly, who was convicted of federal crimes, Trey has no criminal convictions. Still, the allegations, especially those involving power dynamics with women, invite scrutiny.
I listen to some Trey song. There's so much talent out there, you know.
R. Kelly recently said in an interview that he would love to work with me and that he was a fan of mine, and I can't explain really how much that means to me. You know, he's been an influencer and an idol for me for a long time. So, you know, we had our indifferences, and right now we at a great place. And you still a king.
So, what happened to Trey's career? In 2014, he was on top with Trigger. By 2020, his album Back Home barely made a dent. Reddit threads from 2023 and 2024 point to two factors: the allegations and a shift in R&B. One user noted, Trey peaked right before The Weeknd, Frank Ocean, and Miguel changed the game. He couldn't keep up. The data backs this up. Trigger went platinum, but Tremaine, released in 2017, only went gold. And Back Home didn't chart as high. Spotify shows he still has 8.8 million monthly listeners, but that's a far cry from his 2010 peak. The allegations didn't help. Promoters got skittish and brands distanced themselves. One Reddit user who worked for a cannabis company said Trey was dropped as an ambassador after his 2021 arrest. So, where does Trey Songz stand in 2025? He's still active, dropping singles, and performing live.
Don't care 'cause we're so. Say what? But I never loved.
The allegations haven't gone away. The Las Vegas case is still open, and new claims could emerge. Trey's team insists he's innocent, and without convictions, he's legally in the clear, for now. But public perception is another story. The court of public opinion doesn't need a gavel. Fans on X and Reddit keep the debate alive, with some calling for accountability and others demanding proof. One thing's clear, Trey's legacy is tainted. He went from R&B's golden boy to a cautionary tale. What's next? Can he bounce back? Some artists, like Chris Brown, weathered scandals and stayed relevant. But Trey's path is tougher. R&B has evolved, and the industry's less forgiving. If he wants a comeback, he'll need to address the allegations head on. maybe with a tell-all interview or a shift in his music, or he could fade into obscurity, a relic of 2010. Let's wrap up with questions for you. Can you separate the art from the artist? Do you still vibe with Trey's music, or has his dark side changed your view? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. Hit that subscribe button, share this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You're looking at the plug.